Man like Josh, you know. And today we're gonna be reacting to Peter Basu talks Goldburn fight with OC Leaders 2016. Join the Discord! Because when you join the Discord, you'll be able to send whatever you want me to react to. So click the link and join the Discord.
Who are following right now and don't understand and read it from the beginning, then you will understand the story.
Wait, hold on, I feel like I missed something.
Peter Viusu talks of the fight at Goulburn Correctional Center that started the ongoing feud between BloodLine and Outcast. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Oz Underworld.
But BloodLine and Outcast, they have beef. Oh shoot.
Situation with me.
Aren't they both Islanders?
2016. So for those of you who are following right now and don't understand and read it from the beginning, then you will understand the story that I'm telling. Everything that I say is exactly what happened, and the only reason why I'm saying it, it's not to bridge up for those, because I can see the people that are watching is like freaking way above what I thought it was going to be. So obviously I know there's a lot of new people that have joined in to watch this. So go over to my friends and read it tonight or tomorrow or whatever, and then you will understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell my story so that the younger generation and young adults understand that this is not the type of life to live.
Yeah, facts.
I'm telling you right now that I've been there and I've done it, and with all the most vindictive people that I've come across, it's all ended up being the people that were close to me and people that I took under my wing. My brothers who are the Ainga or BloodLine, not one of them have ever failed me. But everyone that I looked after and everyone that I took under my wing, this is why I have come out to explain what I'm about to explain. So with what was going on after the situation with Luke and the Aussie boys, we've now moved over to 6 yard. So back then in 2016, the yards used to rotate, yeah? And they were waiting for their opportunity to strike once we get into the big yard. I think it was called 13 yard. This yard was like about 70 meters long, yeah?
Hold on, lads. I feel like I've missed some prior information, lads.
Once we finally got to that yard, I was a sweeper, so I stayed inside. Remember, everyone went outside in the morning, and when I watched the video footage at court, it shows me walking outside, and then it shows OC standing around a table, and it shows everyone else just doing laps, walking back and forth. So that's the video footage that I saw when I got charged, because I don't know if you guys know, I am the only person that got charged for this brawl. No one else got charged, just me. I'll get to that after. Let's keep going with this brawl. I walked out, and as soon as I walked out of the wing, the first thing I saw was OC in a circle, and it did look out of the ordinary because usually everyone's just doing laps in the morning, trying to stretch up, getting ready for training, yeah? But they were in a little circle around the table. I didn't think nothing of it, obviously, because I considered them my younger brothers. And so when I walked in, they all parted ways from the table. And to me, I just thought, oh yeah, they're coming over to say hello, which they did. They all came over and said hello to me, said hello to the rest of the guys. And then I started doing laps, like small laps, because I was waiting for the phone, yeah? And that Joel Ropier, he was doing laps like right to where I was, and then he would turn around and do a lap back. I found out later on from their own crew members, yeah, that the reason why he was doing laps right where I was because he was supposed to crack me as soon as I linked up with him. But as I was doing laps back and forth, he was too afraid to crack me while I was standing up, so he just kept going back and forth, back and forth.
He was too... Yo, go on, Peter Massey, lad.
Forth, yeah? I didn't think nothing of it. Then I wanted to go get a drink before I go and stretch up to get ready to train. So I went and drank at the bubbler, and I remember him walking over to the bubbler. And as I drank, I looked up at him, and he just said, "Hey, morning, Uzo." I said, "Yeah, good morning." And I walked past him, And then I turned around and he was drinking at the bubbler. Then I walked over to the table and I sat down. As I sat down, I grabbed the newspaper and I opened it. As I opened this newspaper and I started reading it, I glanced up to my right and I saw Jimmy Sar standing over there and he was looking at me. He goes, "You good or so?" Because I don't know how other gangs work, but with our guys, everyone's always got their eyes on me, making sure that I'm all good. Just like in America, just like in the movies, everyone is very calculated. Everyone looks out for each other. Ex-members explained it to me. So what they said was, the plan was 2 would go towards Jimmy Sar, 2 would go towards Louis, who was on the phone, and then the rest would come to me. But the start of it was gonna be Joel cracking me first. So as I was reading my newspaper, Joel came up from behind, and this is all on camera. So when I'm saying these things, it's not because I'm trying to out them. This is all on camera, and still I was the only one that got charged, yeah? And as soon as as soon as he came to my side, apparently he had a watch, yeah, around his fist. And as I was standing there, he's fuck, man. Whoa. Sorry guys, my team is playing around with my phone, making sure that everything is good.
Someone's making serious threats to someone's parents and shit, so don't tolerate that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So there was someone on the comments that was threatening people's families and stuff like. I didn't see it. I'm explaining the story, but my guys didn't tolerate it, so they deleted them. So I apologize for that. So what happened was, I was reading my newspaper. When I got hit, I assumed that he had something in his hand, but I didn't know what it was, because the impact on me, I felt something metal. But when I got hit, it didn't feel like I got hit. It just felt like, I don't know, because I flew off my chair, but then I quickly got up, yeah? But I found out later on from his crew that he had a watch around his hand. So for those of you who don't know, if you were going to get into a fight when you were younger, to make your fist stronger, you would put a battery inside your hand and hold on to it tight, and that would make your hit more of an impact when you cracked them, yeah? Instead of him putting a battery in his hand, he put a watch around his hand in order to make the impact of his hit more effective once it hits my jaw. But when he hit me, I don't think he was expecting what would happen, because as soon as he cracked me, I went off my chair, and as soon as I went off my chair, I twisted my body, and I sort of landed like into a frog position, and then I jumped up. But I still didn't know I got hit. I was just looking at him, and I was like, what the hell? And I realized something had happened, because when I was looking straight at Joel, I could see about 3 of him. And I was like, I was shaking my head, thinking, what the frick? And then it wasn't until he stepped backwards and he shaped up, I was like, wait a second, did I just get hit? And then I said,
you're gonna need kryptonite to take this guy down. Brisset, did I just get hit? Nah, long day, man. The worst thing that can possibly happen to you in a fight is when you hit your opponent and you realize your hit did nothing to them. And that was actually one of your powerful hits as well, blood. And you realize they're not faced by it. You just know you're in for a long day, lads.
Are you serious? As I bent down, to like shape up, I saw at the corner of my eye, Franny, yeah? And I thought he was coming to help me. So I started walking towards Joel. As soon as I walked towards him, he like sort of like shuffled to the right. And then I turned to the left, and I saw another.
Does it mean Franny Loco?
So I started walking towards Joel. As soon as I walked towards him, I thought he was coming to like shape up. I saw at the corner of my eye, Franny, yeah? And I thought he was.
You saw about Franny Loco? Oh shoot, that was in the same jail. Oh yeah, he said OC leaders. Oh shit.
Coming to help me. So I started walking towards Joel. As soon as I walked towards him, he like sort of like shuffled to the right. And then I turned to the left, and I saw another 4 boys coming towards me, and they started making a semicircle around me, and this is when I stepped back. As soon as I stepped back, I realized, hang on a second, something is going on here. And then that's when I smiled. As soon as I smiled, I waved at them like this. I said, come you little dogs. Every single one of them, all they did was dance. There's nothing else I can say. There was just back and forth and back and forth. Every time I would go forward, they would jump back. And then every time I would scream at them, are you gonna fight or not? They would just jump back and forward, jump back and forward. And then Jimmy come running from nowhere, and he had elbowed one of them in the back of the head and then jumped in front of me. When Jimmy jumped in front of me, he started yelling at them, saying, you want to get to my usul, go through me. You want to get to my usul, go through me. He was yelling so loud that it was ringing my ears, but he just kept shaping up. And I wanted to fight. And then it wasn't until I saw something to my left side, I quickly looked, but it wasn't anyone trying to come towards me, it was Louis. So what happened was, I found out afterwards, as soon as I got cracked, Conway cracked Louis while he was using the phone. But Conway, he had knuckle dusters, yeah? And he cracked Louis straight in the side of the head. The rumor that went around is he got stabbed in the head, but it's not true. He got cracked in the side of the head with a wooden knuckle dusters that was made from work, and it was just little cut. It was a little cut, and after the brawl, it was just literally just like a little piece of blood that dripped down his head, but it was nothing. So when I looked to my left, Louis was protecting my left flank, and Jimmy was in the front of me protecting my front. Everything that was going on, I was just like frustrated because Jimmy wouldn't let me in front of him. He kept pushing me back. He said, now, so. And I was like, Sully, get out of my fucking way. And I kept pushing him in the back of the back. And this is why I got charged. So the prosecutors told the judge, Your Honor, if you watch the footage, the victim, which is me, I'm the victim, he kept wanting to fight. He kept instigating it, and then they told, when the video footage was played, you could actually see me pushing Jimmy in the back, and then you could see me getting frustrated, and then I start pushing Jimmy in the back of the head to like get out of the way and let me fight. But Jimmy was so loving and protective over me that he wouldn't allow me to get in front of him, and he was waiting for them to attack, because remember, there's 7 of them and 3 of us. But Louis was also still dazed. But even though he was dazed from that hit from the knuckle dusters, the brother still like stood his ground and protected my left flank. Yeah. Frustrated that Jimmy wouldn't get out of my way, I thought, F this. So I've got this move that everyone from prison knows. I call it my sliding left hook, or just a sliding hook, because I do it with my right and my left. Yeah. And what happened was I looked over to Noah and Franny as if I was going to attack them, yeah? As I looked at them, I flinched. As I flinched, I threw my whole body to the left, and my sliding left hook came through. And Joel Ropier wasn't expecting it, because he was like just standing there like this. As soon as I threw it, he sort of tried to like backpedal, but it was too late. I cracked him straight in the mouth, and he went buckling backwards. As soon as he buckled backwards, he landed on the table, and I was going to go over and keep going, but then this Fijian bloke named Suka, him, Conway, and Franny and Noah started coming forward. So I turned to them, and as I went to throw a punch at them, they all jumped back. So I didn't understand, like, why start something you can't finish? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Why did they do that? Why start something you can't finish for real, blood?
I'm assuming that these guys thought, all right, let's just take Pete out and we're going to take over the yard. It's as simple as that. Very easy win. All the BloodLine boys have moved to other prisons, and right now it's only Peter and Jimmy and Louis. You know,
that is slimy, man. That is so slimy. Let's take, and because they knew they had less members, that's when they decided to attack. My guy, that is so slimy. Like, and even with less members, look at how the situation's unfolding. That is so disgusting, bro. Imagine waiting until a gang is disassembled to like start attacking on them. One, like, lads, come on, man. If you didn't have the heart to do it when they were all there, blood, don't do it now, blood. You get, nothing's changed, lads.
So they made their little plan. but they didn't expect me to get up from Joel's dog shop, yeah, because that was literally a dog shop. I was reading my newspaper. As I moved forward.
And how do you take over like jail? Like what? Do you have to knock out someone to take over the jail, blood? Is that what you have to do, bro? Like how do you take over a wing? Like how do you do that, blood?
And I was going off because they wouldn't fight me. I was like, "He's gonna fucking fight or what?" And when I'm saying it now, like I don't want to scream because I don't want everyone to think that I'm trying to be intimidating to the camera, yeah? But I was going off my head. Like, you just have to think about it when you get angry and upset. That's how upset I was, yeah? I moved forward and now I'm in front of Jimmy. As I moved towards Franny and Noah, all I heard was doof, doof. And I knew straight away what it was. I turned my head and I just seen smoke, smoke, doof, doof. Seen smoke, smoke. And I was like, wow. All the gas started hitting everyone. And the first thing you hear is just everyone coughing. But I've been hit with gas so many times in the past that I'm immune to it, yeah? In saying that, there's a new gas that they brought out just before I got out of prison. I got hit with that gas, and that pretty effed up the whole island. Let me just explain the gas to you before I keep going with the story, yeah? There's a spray that the officers spray at you, and this spray is like 100 times worse than capsicum spray. You can put capsicum spray, a little bit of spray here, and if you take a little sniff of it, you'll be tearing up and your face will be all effed up. But this one little spray of it, you'll be running, yeah? Because so the officers try to get up close and they spray you with it. We hadn't been hit with this. We had been hit with actual shotgun gas, yeah? This was all right because I can handle this. I've been through it before. What I couldn't handle was something new that they brought out, yeah? So I've had gas thrown at me before, and when it hits the ground, it just twirls and all gas comes out of it, yeah? But it wasn't until a situation that happened when the Islander Yard decided to have a standoff with the officers.
I just want to say, you know how animalistic that is, man? You know how animalistic jail is? That's like tranquilizing a wild animal, lads. Like throwing gas in there to like, bro, that's insane, man. Throwing gas in there to defuse the situation. They literally get treated like animals in there, lads. Bro, that's actually insane. Bro, that's insane, man.
They threw gas, and I had strategized from the many years of experience in brawls and in standoffs with the officers. So I had a lot of knowledge from it. So before the officers could get ready to shoot us or to throw gas at us, I got all the boys to fill up the rubbish bins with water. And it was about 4 rubbish bins that was filled with water. So as soon as they started shooting up the gas, everyone was coughing. And I'm not talking about the brawl with OC. I'm talking about the brawl where I first witnessed and experienced the new type of gas that they brought into prison. Gas was getting shot at us. Gas was getting thrown at us. And as soon as the gas was hitting the ground, it was full spinning and the gas was all coming out. And then the boys were grabbing it and throwing it into the rubbish bin and then covering the rubbish bin. And somehow it was dissolving the gas because we couldn't smell anything. Every time the boys dumped it in the rubbish bin, the water would stop the gas from coming up out of the water. And it was a pretty good strategy, you know, like, I don't know what made me come up with it, but there was this situation that happened, years before this, where gas got thrown at us and I kicked it. And when I kicked the gas, it went into a puddle and then the gas didn't come out. So in my head, when this situation happened, I was like, you know what, boys? Grab all the rubbish bin, fill it up with water and get ready to take on the officers. So when all the gas got thrown in, it was getting dissolved. All the boys were good and all the boys were ready to go. And it wasn't until this new gas, yeah? When it got thrown, I was standing at the back of Mana Tafahema. Mana Tafahema was standing there and he went to catch the gas. And then I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, Uso, I got it, Uso, I got it. So I put my hand like that to catch the gas. And guess what happened? It blew up in mine and Mana Tafahema's face. And this turned orange, yeah? this was the first time I had ever experienced this type of gas, and it effed the whole yard up. Like, I'm telling you, our lungs, it felt like someone was squeezing my throat and stopping me from breathing. I remember turning to the yard that day and everyone was on the ground on their stomachs because the officers were yelling out, "Get on your stomachs, get on your stomachs," like that. So everyone was on their stomach and I was the only one like leaning on the wall, and then they were yelling out, "Why is you? Get the fuck on the ground, get the fuck on the ground." And yeah, I would have got on the ground, but I was trying to get a drink of water because, bro, I felt like I was gonna die. I swear, I literally thought I was gonna die. So as I was struggling to get
Yo, imagine having that and then having a panic attack with it. Oh my days, lads.
towards the bubbler, I could hear all the officers yelling at me to get on the ground, but I refused to get on the ground. As I got to the bubbler, the gas started like coming out, so I could have my vision back. And you know, when I had my vision back, what I saw was about 5 islanders under the bubbler tap fighting over the bubblers. So I couldn't even get a drink because everyone was trying to get a drink. And we all ended up getting on the ground, and everyone got in trouble, got taken to Segro, got locked in. Our yard wasn't allowed out for about a week. But yeah, so that's the new gas, yeah? Let's get back to the story. When the gas hit, everyone was coughing and everyone was struggling to breathe, except me. I'm not even gonna exaggerate. I looked around to see if anyone else was as good as I was, but everyone was pretty much like hanging onto a pole, hanging onto the fence, and running from the gas. When you see the video footage, I'm just walking around in the gas, but I couldn't see, so I was trying to find the OC to attack, but
This guy. Yo, lad, with great power comes great responsibility, lads. Bro wasn't mean to the gas. Bro wanted to still find the OC members. Oh, that would have been amazing, man.
I couldn't see anyone. As soon as the smoke started like going away, that's when I saw Joel, and he was literally hanging onto the fence with his head down, and he was struggling, like he was coughing and coughing. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, yeah, this is my chance to get him back. So I ran towards him. I ran straight at him. As I was running towards him, at the corner of my eye, I seen someone coming from the side. And as I was running, I looked and I realized it was Franny running towards me. So I thought to myself, should I stop and turn around and lay him out? Or should I just keep going? Because I was running too fast already, yeah? And for those of you who don't know, I have a bad knee. So if these guys all knew I had a bad knee, and all these guys needed to do was kick me in the knee, and that brawl never would have started. Because if they kicked me in the knee, I would have been effed up, you know. I jumped in the air as I got towards Joel, and as I came down towards Joel, I hit him straight in the head, but at the same time, my legs hit the fence, yeah. And when my legs hit the fence, for those of you who grew up with me that know me very well, I'm very athletic. I could do backflips, I could do front flips, like I could do pretty much everything. Everyone that knows me, there's this backflip that used to be called a moon flip back in the breakdancing days. It's where your legs come up and you just like you kick out and both your legs come up. I could do that. So when I'm telling this story and everyone's like, "You're an old cunt, you can't do that," I could do it. So when I hit him in the head, I used the fence and I pushed myself off. And as I was coming up in there and coming down, I saw Franny and I went to hit him with a Superman punch. But as I threw it, I missed because he was quick to dodge back, and then he started buckling backwards. As he was buckling backwards, I was walking towards him. As I was walking towards him, I was just throwing hits after hit, but he kept running backwards, you know. But while I'm throwing hits and running at him, I turned to my right, and now Joel is coming up to my side. As Joel is coming to my side, I see Renaki. So knowing full well that there's a lot of them, my peripheral vision was like now on alert with my ears. So I wasn't just using my eyes, I was also using my ears. As soon as I heard a noise, I would quickly move like that, just so my head could see. And I'm not a fighter like the Tougher Brothers or Bam Bam. No, those guys are machines. These UFC fighters are all machines. Mark Khan, David Tua. No, I actually grew up as a street fighter. Everyone that knows me from when I was a kid, I was always doing martial arts, me and my brothers. So by all means, don't think that I'm here trying to explain a movie. Yeah, this wasn't a movie. This is real friggin' life. And what I'm explaining to you is exactly what happened. Remember, I told you guys this yard was 70 meters long. By the time Kiore was in my face and Franny was running backwards and Joel was on the side just struggling to walk as well, we had reached the end of the yard. So pretty much I dragged these guys all the way from the beginning of the yard, 70 meters long. So now let's get to the point of this. 7 guys, one of me, 2 guys that backed me up ended up disappearing, which was my brother Jimmy and Louis. They disappeared when the gas got hit, yeah? And it wasn't just them 2, everyone in the yard disappeared. 7 of these boys and one of me, and still I hadn't been touched after the cheap shot. If you guys had 7 guys and you were gonna go get someone, tell me what yous would do. Yous wouldn't dance around, right? No. Yous would do what needs to be done. Teamwork. And just attack, right? Mm-hmm. They tried that, but they were too scared to move forward. And that is why the screws called them ballerinas. Oh, sorry, it wasn't the screws. It was the squad. The squad called them ballerinas. And I remember asking the squad, well, why you call them ballerinas? Because we watched the camera footage and all they did was dance while you see.
Ballerinas. Yo, that's insane, man. Because it was literally him that taught me this, right? Is it Vasu, Peter Vasu? But he told me, right? He said something in his last thing that's just been on my mind. He said, if you're getting jumped, right, not everyone can land their hits, bro. You get it, bro? Not everyone can land, because not everyone hits gonna land if they're all hitting you at the same time, if that makes sense, blood. Does that make sense? So it's like, jumping someone is, you can still get got, bro. Yo, even if it's a 1 on 20, lads, you can still get got, lads. Cause it's like, what am I trying to say here, man? What am I trying to say, bro? I don't know, bro. I lost my point in it. But point is, it'll be better 1v1, man. 1v1 will be much more better. I can't lie, blood. You know what I'm trying to say? Less thinking, just go at it, lads. That's what I'm trying to say, man.
And it made me laugh. Like I was like, oh, all right, sweet. So once we got to the end,
and is the CCTV out for all of us to see?
End of the yard, yeah, it was me standing there. I'm not trying to exaggerate anything. Let me get that straight to you guys. So I'm gonna tell you every little detail. As I was running towards Franny throwing punches, he also threw a hit and he hit me straight in the top of the head. And then when I went to throw my left at him, Kyoto came from the side. So I was watching every side of me, watching behind of me, because I had no one backing me up at this time, because my brothers were coughing from the gas as much as everyone else was. And so when Franny hit me in the forehead, I stopped myself and I looked at him and I was like, come here, you fucking dog, stop friggin' moving, like, fight like a man, you know? And then I turned to my right and that's when I saw Kyoto, and I turned to my back and that's when I saw Joel. So there was Franny, Kyoto and Joel. Everyone else was gassed, like they couldn't handle the gas. But these 3 wouldn't even move forward. Every time I jumped at them, they would buckle backwards. And I was like, bro, freaking kid brain fight. I swear to you, I've been in so many brawls in my life, and this was the worst thing that I've ever been in. It was like not even a brawl. Like, I was the only person. These are the only people that threw a punch. Franny threw 1 punch. Joel threw 1 punch, which was the cheap shot, and then me.
That's insane. That is so insane. That's insane, right? That's insane.
No one else threw a punch. So to all of you guys out there that got these stories saying, oh, there was a massive brawl between OC and BloodLine and it was so hectic because Bayusu got his hair cut and he got stabbed 13 times. Ugh. Right. There was none of that rubbish, all right? That's the only punches that was a part of that brawl. Franny 1 punch, Joel 1 punch, and then me attacking. That's
Yeah, this is what I think I was trying to say, right? Jumping someone is way too messy, lads. Honest to God, is way too messy, blood. Do you get it, fam? There's too much going on, lads. So it's better if you just 1v1 sort it out like men, lads. And there's jumping someone as well, right, who's done nothing wrong to you. That must be like a weird feeling as well. Do you get it, fam?
I was the one who was doing all that attacking.
That's insane.
I was
That's actually insane. That's insane, bro.
going off at those three boys and they wouldn't come forward. The officers ran and they sprayed all of us. Remember I told you that spray, that spray gas? They hit us all with the spray, and everyone like straight away just turned their heads and started coughing. Me, Joel, Kiore, and Franny. We were all trying to get away from the gas. I went and leaned up on the fence, and then I saw the officers grab Franny, Kiore, and Joel and pull him to the opposite side of the yard. And when they pulled him to the opposite side of the yard, they put him on the ground, and they pretty much allowed the officers to put him on the ground because they didn't struggle. They just got on the ground straight away, as in like, yes, the fight is over. But me, on the other hand, I was still struggling with the officers because I didn't want to be handcuffed. Two of them were holding me down, and at the same time, I was trying to wipe my nose and eyes so I could get some vision about me. And they got the handcuffs on me. And as soon as they got the handcuffs off me, all I heard was noise, and I turned to my right side, and Jimmy had come running back to my aid, and he'd come back, and as he went to throw a punch at the officer, one of the officers jumped off me, yeah? So I had one officer still trying to get me on the ground, pushing me down, and Jimmy had come up and he went to crack the officer, but the officer jumped off me, and he jumped back because he was scared of Jimmy. And then Jimmy started saying, get away from him, get away from him. And as he was yelling that, I looked up at him with the officer still on my back, and I started yelling at him, what are you doing? I said, don't fucking touch them. Attack those dogs. And I pointed towards Franny and all that. So Jimmy turned like that, looked at them, and he started running at them. Big Jimmy, as he got towards them, he got crash tackled by every officer, and he ended up on the ground, you know. And they handcuffed him. But because all the officers were on him, I quickly pushed the officer off me that was on me. And as he went backwards, I jumped up and I started running straight towards Joel Ropia because he was on the ground. And in my head at the time, as soon as I got towards him, because remember I'm handcuffed now and I'm running with my handcuffs on.
Legs.
I was gonna jump up in the air and I was gonna come straight down on him. I'm not gonna explain it because I don't want to get cut off. And I was hoping for big damage to happen. But before I got towards,
I was hoping for big damage to happen.
I went to jump in the air and an officer tackled me, and pretty much he didn't get me on the ground, but he stopped me from my run, and I was handcuffed. As he hit me in the side, I stopped him, and we were in a struggle. And then 5 other guys, officers, helped him, and they pushed me back probably about 5 meters before they got me on the ground. And as I was struggling on the ground, I remember one of the officers whispering in my ear, and he goes, "Enough, Pete, enough." He said, "Enough, Bayusu, enough. Like, mate, you won, mate, you won." And hearing him say that, like, it gave me sort of like that inner peace where I was like, all right, these guys tried to jump me, like, just because I wanted peace in the Islander yard.
That's
and
insane.
They made this big lie to the officers saying that I was bullying them and I was making them smuggling drugs and mobile phones, and that's the reason why they turned on me. And I remember there was an officer named Mr.
That's insane. That is so insane. That is so insane. Because I thought OC was made to like protect islanders, bro. But what, is that a lie as well, lads? That's insane. I can't believe that, lads. I'll be so honest.
Coleman, and he had told one of the other officers who had repeated what he said to us. He goes, "I think these guys bit off more than they could chew." That was the exact words that Mr. Coleman told our officer, and then that officer told us when we were in Segro, me, Jimmy, and Louis. And I didn't think nothing of it because it wasn't even a brawl. Honestly, it was like a game of tag. It's like kids running around because there was nothing that happened. All this rubbish that you guys heard on the streets about Bloodline and OC, big brawl at Goulburn, it was nothing. It was like, it's fucking, I can't even explain like how shit it was. That's...
I can't even explain how doo-doo it was. Oi, nah, yo, shout out to Peter, man. Shout out to Peter, man. I love his honesty, shout out.
That's as plain as I could put it, yeah? And while I was walking, when I got stood up and I was getting escorted out of the yard, all I could hear was, OC, nigga, OC. Yeah, OC, nigga, OC. You know, I was thinking, wait a minute. Why are you guys all chanting your gang name when you lost the brawl? I was thinking, what the hell? It was beyond me, but it was so loud, this chanting, that everyone in the whole prison was just like at the fence watching. There was the Asian yard, the Islander yard, the Asian yard, the Lebanese yard, the Koori yard, and even the Boneyard. All the Boneyard were lined up on the fence watching. This is how big it was. Everyone thought it was going to erupt, yeah? But nothing happened. Pretty much everyone was just like saying, what the fuck was that, Pete? Because when I got taken out, I was at a fence, so I had my shirt off and I was handcuffed. And everyone was yelling out to me, what the fuck was that? I said, I don't know. Because at the time, I really didn't understand. Now, there's a paperwork that went around, yeah, that I know for a fact Franny and Mussy orchestrated this paperwork to be leaked on social media so they could put me on a dog, yeah? I know for a fact that this happened. So they can't lie about it. And this is why I get upset. Like, all right, be the religious guy that you have become. You know, like, good on you. You're doing what needs to be done for yourself and your family. But stop fucking telling lies on social media. Every friggin' lie that you tell on there, like, I have pretty much put everything into perspective, you know? When he's telling you, oh, this is the reason why I turned out the way I did, I don't know if that happened. Like, him and his family member, you know, that touched him up. Like, well, that's none of my business. But this thing where he said that I and my crew turned on him, or me and the older boys turned on him and the younger boys, this never happened. Like, I literally, you know what? Out of all the younger boys, he was the one that I actually had to treat like a fucking little baby, because he'd never brushed his teeth, never friggin' washed his face, and he's always had snot hanging out of his friggin' nose. This is what gives me the shits. All these friggin' these idiots who are following him, you're like calling him boss, calling him the Don of your crew, and the bloke didn't even know how to friggin' wipe his friggin' nose. I had to tell him, like a friggin' dad, I had to friggin' pull him aside and tell him, like, Dale, you're putting the boys on show. But you know what's the difference between me and other boys? Is I never put it on him. When I dragged him aside and I told him to wash his face, get that sleep out of his eyes, and friggin' make sure he does his nose and brushes his teeth in the morning. When I said these words to him, I pulled him aside, yeah? And I told him like an older brother, everyone is watching and you're putting us on show. I didn't friggin' say it to him in front of everyone so that I look like I was belittling him. No, I'm not like the other older boys that came before me. Like, this is how I used to treat the younger boys. So when I see these guys on my comments saying, OC all day, or FBL and F you lying dog, this is what I'm seeing that's coming up on these messages all the time. I honestly don't mind. Say what you gotta say, because I'm just trying to explain my story, guys, so that you guys understand. Don't worry about you being friends with him and my friends being friends with me. Don't worry about that. Just listen to my story and understand what I'm saying.
That's insane. So he is talking about Franny Loco. Oh my days, what? That was actually in the same chair. That's insane, lads. What the heck?
Because after this situation happened with me, and don't forget, I was just the older guy that looked after them. I wasn't the one that grew up with them. I wasn't in their gang. I was just the older guy that looked out for everyone, yeah? And remember, all of you who are talking shit on the comments that I'm seeing coming and going, listen to these words. After your gang blew up, you all turned on each other. You went from 7 to 200 men within 3 months. And where are you now? Yeah? Out of your whole crew, there are 5 now dead. Yeah? 2, 1 who was shot, 2 who was stabbed, 1 who committed suicide, and then another one who tried to bring drugs for you guys in their stomach, and he overdosed at Kempsey prison. That's 5. Since you
He tried to bring drugs in his stomach and he overdosed.
you guys started your game. So have a think about what I'm saying. I'm not here to try to put it on anyone. I'm just here telling my story so you guys can understand. And if you want to hate, you can hate all you want, yeah? But just go and find the screen recordings of what I'm saying, and then have a think back, yeah, about everything that I said. And you have to think about how these guys were towards you when you were coming and going, yeah? Yeah, stick up for your mates, all good. But don't forget, everyone that came and went, there's a reason why they came and went, yeah? They joined because at the time, everyone wanted to be a part of the team, and everyone was told it was family, and everyone told it was islanders all together. And guess what happened? They all ended up getting jumped from their own crew. They all ended up on drugs from their own crew. And they ended up turning on each other. And when I say turning on each other, I don't mean the gangs turning on each other. I'm talking about this gang, yeah, OC, turning on their gangs' family members. So there's a lot of stories that I could bring up, which I'm not going to bring up. All I'm going to say is my story. And my story is what I've explained to you. And that brawl was literally nothing. When I went to court, the judge said to me this. Sorry, he didn't say it to me. He said it to the prosecutor, yeah? He said, why is the victim here and not the guys that tried to attack him? Maybe that's not the exact words, but he said it to that effect, yeah? And the prosecutor turned around and said, because Your Honor, if you see the camera footage, you will notice that the victim is more aggressive than the 7 guys that tried to attack him. Now you guys have to think about it. They put me on a dog, but I was the only person that got charged. I was the only person that went to trial for it. You tell me. And then when this paperwork came up, my wife sent me a message. At the time, she was just my missus, yeah? She sent me a message, said there's paperwork going around everywhere of you being a dog. There's some page, I don't know what it's called, I think From the Area or something. They were sharing it as well. And just to straighten things out, a lot of people were saying that From the Area page was something that I organized because a lot of the OC guys and other gangs were getting dissed and not my crew. Let me tell you something. I was sitting in jail. I was in Supermax. How can I organize that type of social media stuff? You know what I mean? Like, this is what they did. They tried to make so many excuses to put themselves up here and to make me look like the fool. So I'm in Supermax kicking back thinking, another one bites the dust. Didn't think much of it. But as soon as I got out of prison, I got smashed with messages on my Facebook of everyone asking me if I was all right. And I was like, why? What happened? I go, yeah, I'm all good. And then this story went around like, I got stabbed I got stabbed 13 times. I got my hair cut. And when they cut my hair, they were swinging it in the yard saying, who's the king now? Who's the king now? This is their story here. But this paperwork of me being a dog, let me explain it to you so everyone can understand. And for those of you who were trying to stick up for me back in the days, you have nothing but my love and respect. I know every single one of you did because my wife screenshotted everyone that was trying to stick up for me back then. And that's why I have a lot of respect for
W-wife, man. That's all be for W-wife.
a girl named Murray, and Murray, and her sisters, yeah, because even though they were hearing a lot of rubbish, they never ever let anyone put me down in front of them. They would always stick up for us, even though it's just girls, you know. So when this paperwork went around, you could clearly see that I didn't snitch in anyone. There was no snitching at all. The paperwork said when I pulled Vayusu out of the yard, I asked him a question. What happened? Why did the boys turn on you? And this is exactly what I said to him. I don't know. I was sitting there reading the newspaper. Someone cheap shot me from behind. I ripped off my shirt and I went on with it. That's exactly what I said. And so when this paperwork got released saying, he's a dog, he's a dog, he's a dog, a lot of people didn't even read it and understand it. It wasn't until I released my paperwork that everyone was like, oh, wow, why didn't they also come out with this before? Come out with what? Why should I have to talk about what I was going through? Like, mate, my reputation and the respect that I've gained, I don't need to prove myself to anyone. So if you want to think I'm a dog, it is what it is. You know? That's why I always say, it is what it is with Triggz. A lot of guys that were sticking up for me back in the days, as soon as they saw it, they picked it out. And that's the stuff that my wife screenshotted. Exactly where they said, someone came from behind and cheap shot me, and then I ripped my shirt off and I went on with it. So I didn't say a name, I said someone cheap shot me behind. And don't forget, the cameras saw everything. So they couldn't get away from it. And I couldn't believe that the cameras saw everything, but the only person that got charged was me. And they said the only reason why I got charged was because I kept going on with it. So I got charged with a fray and whatnot. And and this is where we're at. This paperwork, when it was being blasted around.
Bruh, what the fudge? Yo, bro, why the heck did I just end like that, fam? Bro.
So for those
Oh my days, why did it just end like that, lads? What the fudge? But yeah, I guess that was a fight, to be fair. I guess we did learn about the fight. Yeah, that was insane. That was insane, man. Bro, that was insane, bro. I didn't know BloodLine had beef with OC, sorry, back in the day, fam. That's insane, man. Like, lads, have you guys ever jumped someone, bro? Like, flipping, no, lads. Like, oh my days. I wonder, it's insane, bro. What? I didn't know Franny Loco had encountered Triggz, man. I didn't know that was a thing, blood. That's insane, lads. Yeah, he seems like a proper fighter, man. He seems like a proper fighter. Like, he's one of those, blood. No matter how many people's there, man. Yo, blood, as long as he got his fist, he's swinging, lads. Flipping, no, man. That's interesting. I don't understand this about Jordan. What? So they wanted to take over the yard, right? And to do that, they had to, like, knock out Triggz. But yeah, to do that, right, they had to knock out Triggz. Like, how does that work, guys? Like, how do you take over a yard, fam? That's what I'm curious on, blood. Because let's say they did knock out Triggz. Then wouldn't Triggz just, like, come back the next day and, like, retaliate? Like, how do you take over a yard, fam? And why would they even want to take over the yard, bro, if, like, they're all basically a family? You know what I'm trying to say? But, yeah, man, that was interesting, lads. That was interesting. I didn't know they had an encounter, man. That's so interesting, hearing things from different people's perspective. I would love for Franny Loco to come out with his perspective. I would want to hear that. You know what I'm trying to say, bro? But yeah, man, I'll catch you guys later, man. Jesus loves you. Peace out. Mad interesting, lad. But, he said something so important here at the end. OC started, and within weeks, they went from, like, 5 members to 200 members. 5 of the members are dead. 1 died from overdose, 2 got stabbed, 1 got shot, and 1 committed suicide. Lads, you know how insane that is, lads? You know how insane that is, bro? But yeah, yeah, man, what lesson can we learn from that? What lesson can we learn from that, man? Lesson we can learn from that, just mind your own business in life, man. Don't follow the crowd, fam. Mind your own business. If you're in the yard, fam, do your time, get out, sort your life out, man. Don't get involved in all these unnecessary politics, bro. But yeah, flipping out, man. I'll catch you guys later, lads. That's mad interesting, man. Peace out.